Hey everybody, my name's Christian Smedberg. Welcome to Mooresville, North Carolina. We just had a great demo just a little bit ago. If you haven't watched it yet, you can go back on our video archives and check it out. We are on day 2 of the Re-Tool Tour, and we're coming live to you. We're on live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on WeinigHolz-Her.com. So if you're watching, do me a favor, just drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. What part of the industry you're on. Are you a sawmill, flooring company? Are you a cabinet maker? What do you do? So drop us a note in the comments feed and let us know who you are and where you're watching from. That would be cool. So we're on demo 2 for the day today, and I thought I'd kind of frame up this demo just because I'm a big fan. I'm in front of the cube, and we're going to be milling some rough blanks there, and we got all kinds of species that we're milling. We got all kinds of sizes, it looks like, too. You got some big boys here, a little small piece right there. Look, the cube's a great machine. It's great when you're needing to do fast, easy, simple, and safe changeovers from size to size. If you want S4S all day long, this machine's great for it. All right, so anyway, in just a minute, I'm going to bring a couple guys who you guys have probably seen on our videos before, Mr. Sean Pogue and Mr. Michael Mushkett. They're going to come and explain this machine more in depth than what I can do. But like I said, so welcome to day number 2 of the Re-Tool Tour. We're in Mooresville, North Carolina at our showroom. All day we'll be live streaming from our showroom here. We're going to be live streaming from now till around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then we're going to take a little break because we got to drive up to our manufacturing plant up in Hickory, and we're going to be live streaming from our Hickory plant later on today. So all day, just keep it on our Facebook page, keep it on our YouTube channel, or just have WeinigHolz-Her.com up on your browser, and every time we go live throughout the day today, you'll be notified. And then you'll be able to watch it. So, yeah. So, anyway, that's my spiel. You guys will probably see me throughout the day today introducing videos, closing stuff out, talking to folks. I mean, we got so many experts right here under this roof. It's crazy. We have Weinig and Holz-Her experts that are going to be coming to you with so much information today live. If you guys have any questions about what we're bringing to you, just put them in the comments field, and we'll answer them either in the comments or we'll answer them actually on the video. All right. So if you have any questions about what you see here, just drop us a comment, drop us a question, and we'll get going. Without further ado, let's start this demo on the Cube Plus. Again, this is the Weinig Cube Plus, great machine for S4S'ing, but I'm not going to tell you about it. Instead, I'm going to introduce a couple guys. Sean Pogue, come on up. So Sean, you guys have probably seen him in a lot of videos that we've done. He's our Weinig guru here in Mooresville, North Carolina. Great resource, extremely tenured. And Mr. Michael Mushkett, who's the Weinig Products Manager. So these two guys are going to take it away, and yeah, enjoy. Sean, I'll give this to you.
Thank you, Christian, and I will promptly turn it over to Michael.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Christian, for the introduction. Yeah, I think Christian already covered most of the basics of this machine. As he said, he's a big fan, so he ran this machine before. He's awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Re-Tool Tour 2020. Welcome here from Mooresville, North Carolina. We have some great videos for you guys today. And like Christian said, right now we are, Sean and myself, we're going to talk to you about the Weinig Cube. So the Cube is a great little machine. It's a 4-sided planer for to S4S material. I say that because specifically the machine is made to do S4S'ing and S4S'ing only. But it does that with excellence, no issues at all. And so yeah, before we get started, Sean, do you want to maybe say something as well?
Yeah, I was very glad to hear Christian say something about the safety of the machine itself. We have the hood open right now, and typically when it is in working order, the hood has to be locked. And you'll see it in a few minutes when we close that down. It is a enclosed capsule, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. So there are safety gates up inside of here that keeps the hole closed, as the larger boards, because the machine is capable of 6 by 10 and a quarter. But it would leave an opening there that had the possibility of maybe throwing some chips or something out towards the operator, which we don't like that. So as a safety operation, it will drop that gate down as the board moves on through the machine. In the same way, there are some small safety issues on the inside where you have a proc switch. So in case the board is bowed really bad, instead of it trying to cram through the machine and maybe overpressurizing some items and having feeding issues, it will just stop the board and show you on the control panel there, Michael, about what's going on inside the machine. So at that point, if we need to, if it will not feed, we simply let it come to a stop. It'll release the door. We can look in the mechanisms, and it has a small open up type of program that will just release where you are. Okay, so there's some very nice safety features in here. Also, one of the key things on the left hood is there's a small bar running right in front of the cutter itself. So with that being said, what that does is it allows us to go with any size at any time. And we're going to go through a couple of exercises on the front that shows everybody how quickly it can move to large or small sizes and still ride on a rail through the machine and give you a nice square product. So the other thing is just looking at what we have here, and there's even some fine directions up on top here. Once a blade gets a nick, or we're ready to just change them out because they're dull, anything like that. And we just have simple two-sided blades where we're going to be turning these blades over in the head. And there's instructions, step-by-step instructions up here. Simply takes a small T-handle, and we're going to release these knives in the tool there itself. So the gib itself just gets released, the knife comes out. We do not take the cutter head off to make any changes. We simply have to pull those knives out and rotate them.
Hey, Sean, quick question. I know we get this asked very often by a lot of customers and just all kinds of people. So as we said before, right now we're just using straight knives, correct?
That's right.
Okay, and then so what kind of straight knives are we using currently, and are there any other options that we can use on this machine?
There are other options. You have high-speed steel straight knives that are the replaceable type like we just showed you. We have carbide straight knives, replaceable type, and now we finally are very happy that Germany is allowing us to use a spiral type of head on this machine. One of the big reasons, and a lot of you guys probably have used spiral heads somewhere along the line, and it does a very good job of taking care of the fibers themselves. Yes, you do have to sand a lot of times after this, but when you're thinking about a four-sided machine, we're generally prepping that for something else. You know, whether it's squaring up some of those big pieces that Christian showed you earlier for some turnings, or if we're just doing an S4S program and we need to run that through a sander anyways. Right. So either way is we have good options to take care of the fibers and or give you that full finished product coming out of the machine.
And Sean, what would you say if we are using a different kind of species, let's say very broad, let's say softwood versus hardwood, like would you prefer one type of tool over the other?
It's generally just a percentage of what it is that you're doing. So if you have more hardwoods than softwoods, yes, I would generally lean towards the spiral tool, just because it's taking care of a broader range of species for me. And in those species, traditionally, you have a lot of grain movement. So with that being said, you and I are wood hacks, so we know what we have to do with grain transition. So that would be my choice. If it's more of a softwood scenario, maybe Southern Yellow Pine board program, something like that, yeah, you'd be fine with the traditional, just run the carbide replacement knives in there.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, and the Cube is one of our machines that we have in stock. So just that you know, it comes as standard with those high-speed steel reversible knives heads. But then we do have the option to swap those out and either get those carbide inserts or change the entire set of tooling out and get the spiral heads instead of the regular knives. All right.
Okay, let's go ahead and close her down.
Yep, sounds good. So I'm not sure if you were able to hear that, but so once Sean closes the door, there is a door lock that automatically locks the machine, and that enables the display over here, and that basically gets us started. So if we take a look at the display, we have just a few buttons here. So one of the big benefits of the Cube is that it's very easy to operate. It's very intuitive, operator friendly. So we see here, that's the feed speed. So right now it's set to 23 feet a minute, depending on the type of material, depending how much material you're taking off, and depending obviously on the finish quality that you want to get. The next button down here, it shows a piece of wood and some green and red lines. Those are basically the lasers, so they can be turned on and turned off with the push of the button. The lasers are showing us the current setup of the workpiece. So right now we see our height is 5 inches by 10 inches in width. So those lasers, if we take a look at the board here at the end, we see our 5 inches in height and 10 inches in width. In addition, we also see our stock removal on the bed and the in-feed fence. So Sean is changing that right now, and if we take a look at the lines here, we can see that they are moving. So this is a great benefit if you're running a lot of different widths of material or different dimensions of material. You can see right away if the machine will be able to get your finished dimension out of that workpiece or not. It basically keeps you from running a type of material or a workpiece through the machine, and you won't be able to get your desired dimension out of it. So it's a great little feature. Like I said, very operator friendly. Everybody can just walk up to the machine with a piece of wood and run it through the machine and get a perfectly dimensioned S4S material out of it. Another push button we have here, another option, is this one right here, the third one down from top. It shows us basically kind of like a straight piece of wood and then one that's bowed. So this is basically a feed roller that's inside the machine. Whenever I lift that up, it's going to lift up the feed roller, and it's basically going to straighten the board. Or actually that's in the down position. Once the button is down, the feed roller is going to move up and I can straighten the board. So that just gives us a lot of flexibility what we can do with this machine. Okay. All right, Sean, let's get this thing fired up and run some material.
How we're going to look for the material to be, whether it's bowed and we're trying to straighten for turning, or if we're just trying to take the bow or crook out of a board at all.
Yeah.
So just to kind of show you through some of the simple things, we're going to start with the smallest. Okay. Okay, we're back. Okay, folks, we're just going to cycle through a few different sizes. We're going to show you some of the differences in how the lasers will help the operator just walk up with a chunk of whatever material. He may decide to make a few passes on it to be able to clean up all the bow and the crook and the twist on the piece. So ultimately what we're looking for, one of my passions is wood turning. So we're always looking for something to be square when we're starting out with. So a couple of these blanks we're going to make sure and do a square job. And but right now you can see up here on the front, the small piece, we're going to finish this out at 1 inch wide by 3/4 thick. And you can also see the lasers there are telling me exactly what I'm going to get out of this piece and if I chose to do anything differently with it. So simply we're just going to start with the green button. Since everything's enclosed, the machine starts one spindle at a time. And then when we're ready to go, our feed rollers here will start rotating, and that means that the machine is ready to be fed. Okay, so there we go. You'll also see once we get up to this proc switch right here, then it'll open up that safety gate we spoke of earlier.
All right, so like Sean said, once he moves the material up towards the machine is opening up that little safety gate to allow the material to go in. Once the material moves out, it closes the gate. And here's our finished workpiece. So now you guys can see how easy the dimension changes. So we just went from 1 inch by 3/4 inch thick to now a much bigger workpiece. So we're gonna go 4 inch wide by 3.5 inches thick.
Yes. So you can see here the different colors on the sides are telling us that we're either hitting enough or not. And we're going to skim that piece. You can see there's a lot of color on the side there, which means we're just barely cutting that edge. If that's exactly the dimension I'm after, then I can change the fence side and bring some of that cut back on. So you can see now how we're releasing that and making sure we're going to get an edge on there.
All right, guys, there it is, perfectly square and dimensioned lumber.
So what we're always looking for is a nice square edge on there, all squared up. Okay, so we have complete control of the machine itself, saying, hey, these are the sizes we want, but we also know that product coming out of there is going to be dead on. So another nice thing to look at is if we don't know what size we want, but we simply want to clean the part up, I can just push the buttons and tell it where to come to. So I want to bring that left side in, so somewhere in that range. Our top needs to come down. Okay, so if you can see here, I don't know if you can catch that from that far away, but we've got a pretty fair amount we could still take off of the top. And if I'm after maximum yield, then I want to go ahead and just bring that up to some sort of a value where it works good for me. So instead of 2.288 on the width, I'm going to make that 2.250 and just give myself a nominal size. Same way here, 2.125. And now we just want to check that positioning. And we're good to go. Okay, so right now you can see we're actually going to hit that safety gate. So the board is saying, hey, I have an oversize that I can't deal with, and you can see it right here on the side of the board. So it's going to keep someone who doesn't have the experience of being a molder guy from slamming something in there and tearing up the equipment. Okay? So we'll just wait for the machine to come back, and I'm going to change the height again, and we're going to put that at 2.5. Okay, let that come up, and now we clear our safety gate. Okay, so we can go ahead and put that in. Another thing that I can do is if we look at this bottom, we're just barely touching back here on the back side. So I can also take some of this from the top and put it on the bottom just simply by asking the table to run a little bit lower. Okay, so it takes more meat off the top, puts more onto the bottom, and I can physically see what's going on there for best yield. Okay, so we'll fire back up and put it in. About glued up material, that's another reason we may go with that spiral tool, just because There's another reason we may go with the spiral tool, just because we'll have glue lines in there, and we don't want to leave that glue line running in one place on the traditional type of tooling on there. So now we don't have anything super big like I used to run through these things, but I do have some material here. It's some dried maple, and we've got some hit and miss going on it, and we're going to look at the bow and some of the twists that might still be in that item.
Yeah, it's a pretty big piece, chunk of wood. So we'll see how this little machine can handle it.
Okay. So this is the size that I want. But you can see my top is too much, so I don't want to take too much off of there. So I'm going to put some more back on to the top by moving it off of the bottom. Okay, little movement there, still not enough. So I'm just going to put 063. Now I take a good cut off top and bottom. Now what I want to do is move that up in there and make sure that I'm touching along that whole bottom. In case my piece is cupped or bowed, I can see that with the lasers, and at that point we're ready to put it on into the machine.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay, want to do one more? All right.
Let's do one more. So, like we said before, all adjustments on this machine are very easy, very intuitive. You basically just go up and change the dimension. There's nothing an operator has to touch inside the machine. Everything can be done from the outside. That's why it's very safe. All right, guys, that's the Weinig Cube. There's one more thing I want to mention, and I'm going to turn it over to Sean one more time. So as you can see, the Cube is very compact, very small footprint. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a cutout on the bottom there. So this is made for a pallet jack. So you can basically just run a pallet jack in and move the Cube around on your shop floor. It can be placed directly against the wall, so this is very very space saving. I think the Cube is a great little machine for some smaller shops that do some S4S'ing, a lot of custom work, and they just need the flexibility and the how easy it is to operate that machine.
Thank you, Michael. One more thing I do want to mention. You can kind of see it up on screen. Hopefully it's a little bit further away from our camera. But you are going to carry a list of 10 sizes that you have last run on the machine. So if you're repeating some sizes, you can very quickly touch that size. If you just need to come back and do one more part or 10 more parts, an order got bigger. So we can make more money. But otherwise, we have this list here that we can just pick and choose from. So mentioned several times along this machine, it's kind of a fun one. You know, most of us wood hacks enjoy running this thing. So even Christian, our marketing manager, he really likes to roll his sleeves up and get out here on this machine. So with that, I'll invite him back in the screen. Here you go, Christian. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. That was excellent. Really appreciate it. Yes, my sleeves are rolled up today. Yeah, so a couple things. If you haven't already seen the other videos we've done on the Cube Plus, really just go back into our video archives, both on YouTube and Facebook, and you'll be able to see some production being run. I personally ran some turning blanks, and yeah, and Sean, thank you for providing some nice timber that we were able to run. And yeah, it's just a great machine. I'm really glad that Sean touched on one point that I want to touch on too, which is the 10 size memory that the machine holds, right? So basically what Sean was referring to is a list in its interface. It's super easy. It's 2 clicks away on the touch screen where you can access recently run sizes. This is super important for shops that are S4S'ing specific stock sizes, because then if you're only running those stock sizes, you're able to quickly go to those sizes instead of having to type in, which really isn't all that much work anyway, typing in the dimensions. But yeah, for those of you into computers, it's about less mouse clicks, right? Less keyboard clicks, and that's what this feature on this machine does as well. Great machine. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Thank you guys for taking us through the specs of it. Yeah, if anyone needs more information about the Cube Plus, drop a comment in the feed. Excuse me. Let us know. And we'll be sure to answer your question. All right, a couple things about the Re-Tool Tour. Yes?
I was going to ask if I could do a plug here.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
I just want to make sure everyone out there knows, especially you local folks, that our showroom is open here in Mooresville all the rest of the week, including today. So if you see something here today that you'd really like to come and check out, come on up, down, sideways, wherever you're coming from, but we'll make sure and run some machines for you.
It's true. The showroom here in Mooresville is open. Sean and his team have done a tremendous job prepping this for any visitors that we have. It's clean. It looks awesome. And there are plenty of machines that you can come see and play around with and tinker with. So, yeah, if you want to come, just get in touch with your local rep. Ask them how to do it, and they'll be able to give you an appointment, directions. Just come on down, and we'll see you here. Okay, couple things about the live stream today. So the live stream, day 2 of the live stream for the Re-Tool Tour. Just because we are in Mooresville and we have such a knowledge base, we are running a little bit behind schedule, but that's okay. So we are a bit behind, and what I just wanted to let everybody know is just stay tuned on our Facebook or our YouTube page, and we will continue to stream. Maybe a little bit behind our presentation schedule, but we'll get to all those machine demos that we want. All right, so next up is concepts in modern manufacturing. We're going to have Daniel and Nathan back on this side of the camera for just to run through various concepts in smart manufacturing. We're going to be using a whole lot of various machines for our next demo. So again, make sure just get on our Facebook page, jump on our YouTube channel, or go to just WeinigHolz-Her.com. The live stream will be on there all day today. It's day number 2 of the Re-Tool Tour. And again, if you're watching, drop us a comment, say hi, tell us where you're from. Yesterday, we were live streaming from Miami. We had people from all around the world. Let's see, we had folks from Israel and from Germany, from various other parts of Europe, and then obviously from all over the United States. So it's cool when we know you're watching us. So drop us a comment, let us know where you're from, and we'll give you a shout out. All right, folks. So with that said, we're going to wrap this segment up. And then we're going to be right back with concepts in modern manufacturing.